And joining us now, Harris campaign spokesperson Ian Sams. Ian, good to see you this morning. So you heard Trump get some light pushback from Republicans after he called the vice president mentally impaired, but then he went out and he repeated the insult. So what's your response?
Well, you hear President Trump say things like that, and you know what's missing? What's missing is anything that actually matters to the American people, issues that are important to them, issues that they care about in this election. They don't want this dark, divisive, chaotic negativity from Donald Trump. They want to hear what the candidates are doing for them, and that's exactly what Vice President Harris is doing. Today we're talking about health care. We released a report this morning on Donald Trump's concept of a plan, which his running mate J.D. Vance, who's taking the debate stage tomorrow night, outlined in great detail just last week, saying that he wants to put people with pre-existing conditions back into high-risk pools. And what that means is it's going to mean higher costs for people with pre-existing conditions, and the millions of people who have pre-existing conditions could lose their coverage. That's what existed before the Affordable Care Act. Vice President Harris has a very different view. She's proposing, like she did as vice president when she cast the tie-breaking vote, to cap insulin at $35 for seniors and cap seniors' prescription drugs at $2,000 a year. She's proposing expanding that to all Americans. These are the things that she's actually spending her time talking about on the campaign trail, issues that actually matter for the American people and bringing their costs down so that they have a more affordable cost of living, while Donald Trump does his same old insult comedy tour.
So she wants to talk policy. You're right, we're not hearing a lot about policy from Donald Trump. This is what we are hearing, though, however, as he's on the attack against the vice president. This is in Pennsylvania yesterday.
You see these guys walking out with air conditioners, with refrigerators on their back, the craziest thing, and the police aren't allowed to do their job. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, one rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
So he seems to be referencing shoplifters there. What do you hear in that?
Well, we see just in the last week that our crime stats are actually down this year under Vice President Harris and President Biden's leadership. Donald Trump has invented a dystopia that he is living in, and he's trying to tell his base of supporters that the country is something that's very different than I think the vast majority of the country feels. I think that people want to look to the future, and they want to turn the page on this sort of divisive darkness that Donald Trump is offering. I think that when Vice President Harris is out there on the campaign trail, she's offering a real patriotic vision of this country, saying that she loves this country, and you hear Donald Trump spending all his time trashing the country. And so I think it's two very, very different visions of the country. His is very dark, divisive, taking us backwards, and hers is very future-looking, a new way forward for America, where we can turn the page on this sort of divisive darkness and actually focus on real issues and making people's lives better. And so as she's out there on the campaign trail, that's what the voters are hearing from her. We have just over a month left to the election day. I think Donald Trump is saying some of this stuff because he's scared, because he's worried about her beating him. It's why he refuses to accept a second debate. He's clearly lashing out and emotional and moody because he doesn't really want to face her on the debate stage again. And so he's retreating to his bunker of MAGA world to try to lash out with these insults. And it's not going to work because the American people are onto his game. And I think they want to hear a more positive vision for the country, which is what the vice president is offering.
Well, Americans will be able to see the contrast in full screen tomorrow with the vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. Reporters caught up with Governor Walz about his debate prep this weekend. Let's listen.
Governor, how's debate prep going? How's debate prep going?
Going great. This is the fun part.
So what are your expectations for this debate? And realistically, how much impact do you think it'll have?
Well, look, it's another opportunity to see the contrasting visions for America. You know, Governor Walz is an amazing partner for the vice president. He's going to talk about their shared agenda to bring down costs for the American people, to expand businesses in this country so that more people can have jobs, to help protect the future of manufacturing, and to protect people's health care. And that's not what they're going to hear from J.D. Vance. Something about J.D. Vance that I think people don't realize, the more they see him, the more they dislike him. He's one of the most unpopular and unfavorably viewed running mates in modern history. Now, look, he's a slick guy. He's a Yale Law School graduate who did a best-selling book and toured the country and has done so many interviews about it and about his candidacy for vice president. He's going to be slick. He misdirects. He's dishonest, and he can play the game on stage pretty well. But Governor Walz is going to speak to the American people like he has over the course of this campaign. He's just a average guy, coach, school teacher who I think a lot of people in this country can relate to. And so when he shares the positive vision of what he and the vice president are running on to help the American people, I think that it'll help solidify the choice in this race. And I think J.D. Vance will be saddled with having to clean up the mess that was Donald Trump's first debate and push a pretty dark and divisive vision that the country is ready to turn the page on.
Harris campaign spokesperson Ian Sams, thanks so much for taking the time this morning.